What's up, my dudes? My name is Sister Turley, and this is the track review of the red SX clay track on the new James Stewart Compound. So, first of all, let me just go ahead and give you guys a little update. I did actually get my 450 Pro license back, but I also have some bad news. I actually broke my finger on a real life dirt bike about a day ago, so yeah, that couldn't have happened at a better time. I finally get my pro license back, and then I break my finger, so I actually broke the finger that controls the rear brake, so I got pretty lucky. I mean, if I would have broke the finger that controlled the throttle or the front brake, I would have been straight up boned, dude. Like, there's no way I could have rode the bike, so I think I'm still going to be pretty groovy to ride the pro race this week, so I don't think it's really going to affect that, but it's kind of weird riding without a back brake all of a sudden. I mean, it's kind of hard to get that front end back down after you huck a triple right out of a corner. It's pretty weird, but I think I'll be all good, but I just thought I'd update you guys a little bit on that. So but this track right here, as you guys can see, pretty much identical to how it would look in real life. So all the jumps feel really fun. It's a lot like a 2016 Supercross track, and from what I've noticed on the 2016 Supercross tracks, people either love it or they hate it. There's really no in between, so it's kind of one of those things. I mean, if you like 2016 tracks, you'll like this track. If you don't, you might not, because it's really narrow and the jumps are really tight out of the corner and they're really peaked. So it's a lot like a realistic Supercross track. So if you're not pretty good at the game, you might get a little bit frustrated on this track, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's not hard at all, really, but I could see where a beginner rider might have a little bit of trouble hitting some of the bigger lines and stuff on this track. But I love the ground decal, how he has it's got the red clay look to it, but it also has that kind of gray kind of dirt color to it as well. It's like a two-toned mixed, like two different decals are mixed together, and it makes it look really good. And then obviously you got to give dude hats off on all the off-track stuff. I mean, all that is absolutely perfect, but overall the track is a lot of fun when you start getting flowing on it and hitting the triples right out of the corner. I mean, it's actually a lot of fun. There's a couple of sections where you can kind of hit bigger quads, and I don't know if it's a quad or a 5 jump or a quintuple or whatever the heck you guys call it on that first section. I don't really know what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's a 5 jump. I don't know. Either way, it's big as heck. I know that for sure. So and I don't even know if it's really worth it, because if you don't hit it, you can hit a double, but if you do hit it, it's right here. So you hit this, you launch over, and then you got a single out right there, so you lose a little bit of time kind of bouncing over that single. So not really sure if it's faster, but I know it's more fun to hit, so, you know, why not? So, all right, let me play this back as a third person here. I love the actual feeling of this track, too. It's just got that perfect amount of traction, man, where it's not too much, but you're not slipping everywhere either at the same time. It's kind of like you can still slide the back end, but you still have enough traction to pop the triples right out of the corner. So I feel like that part of it's done perfectly. And yeah, it's just the whoop sections on this track, they're pretty tricky, man. They're kind of those whoop sections that they're just sitting there saying, just blitz me, because I look so small. But if you blitz them, you're gonna die pretty much instantly. That's pretty much how these whoops are, man. They're just so tricky like that. They look so small, but I don't know if it's the way he smoothed them out or what it is exactly, but they are tricky, man. You really got to blip the throttle through them, and you got to kind of take your time the first couple of times hitting them, because if you don't, it's just going to send that front end flying. So you got to be careful on that. And then you got this one triple over here that it looks like it's a lot bigger than it is. I mean, the face, like, you kind of feel like you're about to hit a 100-foot triple, but it's actually like a 50-foot triple. So if you don't let off about 10 foot before it, you're probably going to jump all the way past the berm on that one. So just be a little careful on that jump. And then this whoop section right here is just the same as the other whoop section. You can see kind of how it's smoothed off a little bit there on the edges. And I don't know if he just went through and smoothed it or what, but you got to be careful with whoops when you start to actually smooth them. It starts to make them to where they kind of lose that perfect edge, and I think that's kind of what's happened to these a little bit. I mean, they're still fun, and it's just a different kind of style of whoop, a little bit different feeling of whoop, just very unpredictable and very tricky, because they look so easy, so you're so tempted to just haul butt down through them, but you just can't. So it's kind of a little bit of a mind trickery going on there. So what is this right here? Is this so you jump that, and then it's 3. So yeah, I guess that is just a quad, or technically, Yeah, that's just a quad. Pretty sure. I guess you could technically call it a 5 jump, but not really because that's a tiny tabletop. That's really just a quad right there, but I know it definitely feels big when you hit it. So, but these triples right out of the corner, I mean, you got to be on it, man. I love sections like that they're challenging, but they're still possible on the 250. And I actually rode on this track with the 250 to make sure that I could hit all the jumps and stuff on it, and you can. So it's just a lot of fun when you find that flow on this track and just start hitting all the lines. It can definitely be a little frustrating when you're not flowing and just every time you hit the whoops feels like you just flip right over. I definitely experienced that a little bit when I first started riding on this track, especially with a broke finger. That was a little tricky to learn, but once I started feeling it a little bit and then learning how to not really have to use my back brake at all, then I was okay, and it actually started to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to give this track I'm going to give it a 10 overall. I mean, the whoops are a little weird and stuff like that, but as far as the whoops can be weird and they're still fun. I mean, what I consider good whoops or weird whoops is not necessarily what everybody considers good or weird whoops, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I can't just go off of how I feel whoops should be. Whoops can be all different kinds of ways and shapes and sizes and colors, so it's kind of one of those things you can't really hate a track just because its style of whoops, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm giving it a 10, and I don't really know how you can make the traction or the width or the replica aspect of it any better. So definitely 10 overall, and I'm going to say the difficulty is hard because some of these jumps are a little bit tricky and the whoops can definitely throw you off guard. So anyways, I appreciate all you watching these videos, and I'll keep on making them.